All right, let's set the tone. Welcome back to the channel where we say the quiet parts out loud and then laugh about them later. Today, we're talking about something that absolutely scrambles a man's internal operating system. No, not your looks, not your body, not even your perfectly curated Instagram story. I'm talking about you not caring. That's right, the moment you go from, do you like me, to, you're cool, I'll survive either way. Suddenly, he's acting like he just discovered oxygen. Men don't panic when you're obsessed. They panic when you're peaceful. So today, we're breaking down exactly how men react when they sense you're unbothered, why it messes with them, and how to use that energy without turning into a cold robot or playing games. Because being unbothered isn't about pretending. It's about knowing you're the prize and acting accordingly. Let's get into it. So let's clear something up right away. Being unbothered does not mean that you don't care at all, that you're emotionally unavailable, or that you act rude or dismissive. Being unbothered means you are not dependent on his behavior to feel secure. It's the difference between why hasn't he texted me versus he'll text when he texts, I've got a life. And men feel that difference immediately because most people operate from subtle anxiety in dating. So when you show up calm, grounded, and not seeking validation, you stand out instantly. So his first reaction will be curiosity. When a man senses you're unbothered, his first reaction is, wait, why isn't she reacting like everyone else? He's used to fast replies, over-explaining, or seeking approval. But you're relaxed, you're present, you're not trying to win him. And now he's intrigued because humans are wired to notice what's different. Then comes the chase. Here's where it gets interesting. When you're unbothered, you unintentionally create space, and men fill space with effort. Suddenly, he's double texting, initiating plans, and asking deeper questions. Not because you manipulated him, but because you're not overgiving. Men don't value what they get easily. They value what they feel they had to earn emotionally. If you're instantly available, over accommodating, and constantly proving yourself, there's nothing for him to step into. Now comes the mental spiral. He starts wondering, does she even like me? Is she seeing other people? Why isn't she impressed? And this is where women usually mess it up. Because the moment they feel him pulling in, they panic and start overgiving. And boom, dynamic ruined. When you remain unbothered consistently, the power dynamic shifts naturally. Not in a toxic way, but in a grounded way. You're no longer waiting, wondering, or overanalyzing. You're observing. And that energy says, you can be here, but I don't need you to be. The moment a man feels like you need him, his effort suddenly drops. The moment he feels like he could lose you, his effort suddenly rises. And real quick, if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, I get it, but I still struggle to actually be unbothered, that's exactly what I help with. I'm now offering one-on-one coaching where we break down your specific dating patterns, your mindset, and energy so you can naturally embody this without overthinking it. If you're interested, my email is in the description. Reach out and we'll get you aligned. All right, back to it. Now, this is when he starts trying harder. Now that he senses that you're different, he levels up. You'll notice more consistency, more emotional investment, and more effort into seeing you. But here's the key. Don't reward effort with over-availability. You have to stay grounded. Over-rewarding a man too early teaches him he doesn't have to maintain effort. Let's talk about something important. You cannot fake being unbothered long term. Men can feel the difference between calm confidence, suppressed anxiety. If you're pretending, it leaks out through passive aggressive comments, overthinking, and sudden emotional reactions. True unbothered energy comes from self-worth plus a full life outside of him. So here's what actually creates this energy. If you want to be unbothered naturally, you have to focus on having your own goals, maintaining your routines, not over prioritizing someone too early, and letting people show you who they are. It's less about strategy and more about your identity. So when he pulls back, here's where your unbothered energy is tested. If he pulls back, most women will chase, overthink, or seek reassurance. But the unbothered woman, she leans back too. Not out of pride, but out of her self-respect. Chasing a man who pulled back doesn't bring him closer. It confirms he can give less and still keep you. Being unbothered is queen energy. It says, I like you, but I like myself more. You add to my life, but you don't define me. And that is magnetic because it removes pressure, desperation, and neediness. So if there's one thing to take away from this episode, it's this. The less you try to control the outcome, the more attractive you become. Not because you're playing games, but because you're finally standing in your own power. And trust me, the right man doesn't run from an unbothered woman. He rises to meet her, or he just removes himself. Either way, you win. I'll see you in the next episode. If you would like personalized one-on-one coaching, the email is in the description box.